I'm so excited we hopped on today. Give a quick introduction, like about yourself, your background, and just who you are when you started UGC, anything like that.
Well, my name is Skylar. I started UGC in 2023 when it was newer and people weren't really, I don't know, there wasn't really a format yet, so it was kind of up to us, and obviously I knew nothing about it, but I saw online a lot of people saying, oh, you can get free stuff just making these videos for brands, and I was like, free stuff? Are you kidding? Of course. So I would kind of just do it for the free product. I never really treated it like a business. I think I could have capitalized on it more at that time, but I was also younger a couple years ago, so I wasn't really in for the business side of it. I was in for the free product and just to tell people, oh yeah, this was a free thing. I actually got the coolest one was a toothbrush, and I still have it to this day, and I love bragging about it. But that's probably not the best way to approach any business model, thinking of solely the benefit. I think now it's kind of like I want to build a foundation and put actual energy to build and grow and actually see some kind of success that will last me a while. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. And even like, how old are you for anyone listening? And then like, what were you doing? What are you doing right now? Like, and like, were you working a job? Like, what does your situation look like right now?
Totally. So I started UGC when I was like 18, 19. I'm 21. I turned 22 this month. Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. Super.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah. So I work at a country club right now. Service industry is insane. I've been in the service industry for so long. And I think I want to shift that energy that I spend working on something personal, because I'm trying to just build career like focused stuff. So I live in Los Angeles right now. I moved here for a modeling agency, which is very unreliable when it comes to income. And I want to almost like UGC kind of goes hand in hand with like commercials and marketing and just promoting things. It's kind of, it seems like it aligns with my career. And I think solely focusing on that, I can only see myself growing a lot faster and being more confident in front of a screen, in front of a camera. It just seems like it aligns with my life. And I spend a lot of time working at this country club, and these people aren't the nicest either. And I think if I could spend all that energy and time in that country club and change it into something else that I can build and grow from scratch, that'd be amazing. And I want to start all over. Yeah.
100%. And I guess like you've been a part of the UGC Academy now for maybe a couple months, something like that. Yeah. You're fairly new. What have you learned so far that helped you maybe get you closer to that goal where you are like a full-time UGC creator, you're a full-time model, you're using UGC kind of as that vehicle to get to where you want to get to?
Definitely. I would say that what you put in is what you get out. And if I'm not reaching out to people and I'm not applying myself, it's just not going to go anywhere. So it's a lot of like accountability, and being a part of the UGC Academy, I get to see other people's journeys. And I mean, just what I've learned the most is kind of like putting in the work in order to receive, right? I think that's one of the biggest things, but the community is very talkative, like attentive, people sharing their own testimonies, people sharing their struggles. That's a big thing too, because it's not easy, but being around a community doing the same thing, it only makes more sense to keep going because everyone's kind of in that same boat. So that's been really cool.
For sure. And what was your like biggest win inside the community so far?
However, the community itself, I think just attending the meetings that go on, I think I joined the mindset one that you told me to check out. That one was really cool because everything is a mindset, and I don't know, you kind of just go more in depth than I would expect like other people or creators to do. I think that's probably my biggest takeaway yet, but I'm hoping for a bigger testimony to share hopefully in a couple months, seriously. That's the goal.
100%. And then what we'll do in this call, Skylar, is we'll kind of just juice out everything else that you learned, everything else that you took out from the community in a positive way. So, Skylar, is there anything else that you really, really took away from? Is there anything else that that kind of changed your life, in the better? Because UGC at the end of the day for you, it's a vehicle to get to that end destination, right? Which is modeling and having that career.
Totally.
So, what would you say is what other big takeaways did you kind of learn, those realizations that you had?
Yeah, a big takeaway kind of just, I think that you're capable and that it's actually doable. A lot of people like to sell a dream. This isn't that. It's actual foundation with actual steps to get you to that point. That's always been my biggest takeaway with the UGC Academy, 100%. Yeah, that's really just what resonated with me the most.
What would you tell to that other model or actor out there, or just someone that's working a job at or doing they're in the service industry and they're working a job kind of like you, similar to your age, and where they want to break out of the matrix, they want to break out of that day-to-day loop that they don't like? What would you tell them, and they're looking for something to do?
I would simply say that it's possible. As much as I like to tell myself that things aren't possible, it's like, would I really be sharing that with someone else? Like, I would want to instill so much hope and belief that something is possible to someone else. Why don't I speak like that to myself? I don't know. Even just to my coworker at my job, we always talk about wow, the energy is so draining here. Everyone is always speaking so hatefully and negatively, and it affects us as workers. We can't enjoy working when people are constantly, just talking bad about other people too. I don't like that. And it almost just, I don't know, you are who you are around. And I have noticed being around negative people, it almost turns you into that. You know what I mean? I hate that. But I have that one coworker that I'm like, if I figure out how, I'm going to share it with you, and I'd love to help you. If I can do it myself, I think anyone could, and I'd love to prove that to myself eventually. Yeah. Yes.
So would you recommend UGC to, people listening to this video? And if you would, why?
I would recommend UGC because it's so versatile. There's a lot of different ways people can use UGC with their own personal lives, because you get to pick the brands that you want to partner with. You get to pick your niche. That's why niches are important, because every person has their own lifestyle, and there's no limit to age. There's no limit to any of your hobbies. There's something that you can market, and I think that it's a great business model for people that need a little extra in this challenging, expensive world. Honestly, especially just aspiring business owners. This doesn't have to be your thing forever, but it sure teaches you a lot of discipline in this field. I think a lot of people could benefit just from learning in general. I'm learning every freaking day. Yeah.
So you've been a UGC creator or off and on with UGC for the past couple of years, and then you joined the UGC Academy a couple months ago. So what was the first thing that you learned with us that made you go oh my gosh, I've been doing UGC all wrong, the whole time?
You brought up percentages and math, and I was like, oof, yeah, of course. A brand, I mean, if you're applying to 2 brands a day, or you're doing 10 a week, just the percentages of who's even going to open your email to then reply, to even look at your stuff and then even consider you. There's just a lot of steps in that. And the only way to get past that is to literally spam email a bunch of different places, and you put into that perspective of percentages and math and all of that stuff that would flew over my head. And yeah, that was like the biggest thing, honestly. Simply just treating it like a business. It's something I'm not aware of, so needed to hear that for sure.
And then we're all about systems in business and numbers, especially in the UGC Academy, because that's how you grow as a business owner.
Yeah.
So I guess what systems really blew your mind in the UGC Academy?
Systems. I mean, the biggest thing was like the emails are what get you to that point, but then like follow-ups to, okay, first off, the outreach and the right correct like platform to use to maximize your outreach, then following up with those emails after to the process of like fulfilling partnership to delivering to keeping up with like a good relationship, just all the core values that you need to maintain a good relationship with the brand that you're working with to get those long-term deals or long-term, like, you know, if a brand really likes you, they're going to have you promote their stuff for a couple months, or you kind of have a little relationship with them in that way. I think that's very important because that's how you can expect a certain amount every month, because you are kind of recycling with new brands, but having monthly retainers gives you more of a cushion, and it's not as stressful as like, oh gosh, that was just one brand that wanted me to work with them and now they're gone and I have to go find a whole other thing. So yeah, systems for sure.
Beautiful. It's a systems-based way of thinking. Okay.
Yeah.
Once you think in systems, it changes your life, and it leads us to like the topic of like how UGC changed your life, and you know the skills you mentioned that you learned a ton of skills, valuable skills with UGC and starting a business like this. Even though it might not be the you know the end goal, but it will help you get to the goal. The vehicle.
100%.
So, what are some of the best, maybe top 3 skills that you learned as a UGC creator so far, and how are you gonna like? How are you going to apply them into your day-to-day life?
First, I want to say accountability is huge because you're in charge of your success. A lot of people, including myself, are used to other people kind of, you know, like, obviously, like, you're a coach, you're saying, like, this is how you do it. In order to do something, though, you have to do it yourself. I guess it goes with any job that you're working, but doing it all yourself is like different, and it's a learning thing. So I think like accountability is huge because I'm gonna hold myself accountable every day. It's just a really good habit to have. It's really good with adulting and living on your own, all that. Second, I think just good communication, being able to speak well, being able to be on top of like replies, and you know, I mean, communication, and I think I want to say time management. I think I want to say just like management with your entire life. If you don't mind in repeating the question, I think those all.
Yeah, it's more so. And what other skills have helped you, Skylar? Like, because I mean, those are great skills, and they can impact anyone on a personal level. But what about like the content creation skills? What about maybe the sales and like the marketing skills and like those skills that can carry?
That's very
like,
true. Yeah, totally. Because I mean, it takes time to learn how to film a proper video. It takes time to learn what works and what doesn't, and it's definitely a learning period because I mean, how are you supposed to know how something's going to perform? You can't like promise a brand like, oh, this is going to do great, but that's why not the typical UGC of like doing one video for like $200 and then it performing like crap, and then the brand like wastes their money. The system of having like a daily video type like paged account, the whole separate thing, that's why it's better, because you're able to change it up, see what works and what doesn't, and you're not really like, there's not like $200 on the line type thing. There's not as much stress there.
And how have they impacted like your personal life? How have you developed as a person, you know, in the mind by learning these skills?
Honestly, I think just my mental state has improved a lot, because these skills do apply to your everyday life slightly. Systems and people, because you're really just interacting with people. It honestly helps your social skills with people, making content in general. You're speaking to a camera, but you're really speaking to people. It's like, how well do you resonate with people as much as you're talking to a screen? This also helps in real life. I think, yeah, helps
for
in real
sure.
life.
That makes total sense. And like you went from part-time model in just like, you know, waitress or server, right? Serving industry to business owner, right? So explain that jump and explain how that jump impacted your life. And would you encourage other people to make that jump that are kind of on the edge?
Yeah, no, I would say totally the jump is important, but don't like hate where you came from. Like a lot of people like to say, I hate my job. I hate it so much. I can't do this or that. So I'm just going to make this jump and I'm going to start a business and stuff. And I see it often because people love to chase the dream and say like, I just quit my job, which honestly, it's a great feeling to be like, oh, I just quit my job. But I think gratitude is so important because that job did serve a purpose. It got you to where you are now, into this mindset, and to it even like supported you financially. Like you're able to pay your bills because of that job. And maybe those people didn't treat you the best, but I think just having peace in what served you at that time is so important, because what's to come, it feels better. It's not like an envious, like, oh, now I'm like baller rich and screw you guys. I'm gonna, if you want to learn how to get like me, you need to do this or that. I think just coming about all of it in a peaceful and the gratitude's so important to me. I think if I could tell anyone that's in that industry, I would just be like, be nice. Be nice to the industry. It'll treat you like nice in return. I think, yeah, that's 100% what I would say to anyone in the service industry that wants to make the jump. Just continue to be a good person, and it'll show, because your character is very showing, like, you know.
And are you very glad that you made that jump yourself? And if so, like why?
Because comfort kills. I think there is slight discomfort in making the change, but there's growth in discomfort, because, you know, you obviously don't want to stay in discomfort, so there's going to be growth, and then soon your new comfort is going to be this thing that you thought in the past, like it was some dream or something. Like, I don't know, the reality will be what you've dreamed, if that makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. So Skylar, like what's next for you then? Like where do you see this going for yourself?
Totally. So I am an artist. I paint, and I would love to take the skills that I use with this UGC business to help, you know, just understand how to promote or what works and what doesn't when it comes to art. Also, okay, well, mainly financially speaking, because doing UGC and eventually quitting my job would give me, is going to give me the freedom to focus on my art, to focus on other things, and to actually like afford to live and pursue the things that I want, I guess. That's like the goal, and that's what I see myself doing. Like I'm using UGC as a stepping stone, and I think a lot of people should as well.
What would you tell that person that's on the edge of being a saleswoman, a UGC creator, a drop shipper, MLM girl? Like what would you tell her if she's on the edge of all of them, she doesn't even know what to do?
Pick what like aligns with your life. Like, I don't know, I've tried drop shipping before. I've thought about doing sales. I think everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses, and I think just being on the cusp of all these things, pick what resonates best with your skills. Like some people are really good at like sales in general, like taking calls and closing deals and stuff like that. If you know you can do that and that's something that you could see yourself doing, do that. If you like, I don't know, the little challenge of drop shipping, I mean, try everything, honestly, because the worst feeling is regret. Honestly, like just try it. I think there's no harm in that. Just this part of my life, I feel UGC works best for me, as I do think it would work for pretty much any person because of how versatile it is.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
And where can people find you on social media?
Instagram, Skylar Quist, Skylar.Quist. And yeah, I don't really use TikTok. It's don't go on TikTok. Instagram.
Instagram. Awesome.
Yeah.
Guys, go follow Skylar on Instagram. Skylar, thank you so much for this interview. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.